In our small town of 600 people, the last name of Begeman was often titled, oh, they're the Christian family. They don't drink, they don't smoke, they're not going to party, so why even ask? On the outside, there was this confident, 13 to 16-year-old male who is homecoming king, president of our student council. He's doing well in school and athletically. But I had wrote this poem in high school that vividly depicted the two people in my life, and both were myself. One was at school and one was at home. And at school, I was the kid that was making all of these sexual jokes at the lunch table. And then at home, I was the perfect Christian son that my parents had raised. I was, attending church. I was on our worship team. I was a leader in our youth group. I was checking off all of these boxes, but on the inside, there was something else going on that I couldn't overcome by myself. I was super passionate and really excited to come to Summit. Getting to the front porch, I remember shaking somebody's hand and them saying, "Hey, who are you?" And I paused, because I don't know how to answer that question. I don't even know who I am. And I was so excited. Sean McDowell, stepped into the building. I'm like, oh, he's gonna talk about pornography, and this is gonna be so, enlightening, and he's gonna free me. And I remember sitting in class just going, 2 out of 3 Christian men struggle with pornography. 1 in 3 women struggle with pornography. 1 in 4 internet searches are for pornography. And that night was testimony night, and my small group leader shuts the door, and he's like, all right, everything that said in this room is gonna stay in this room. And he started sharing his testimony of a Christian growing up in a Christian household, falling to pornography in high school, and losing his virginity in college. And I'm like, and he's struggling to get these words out, and I'm like, this is crazy. I shot my hand up, and I'm like, I shared my testimony of pornography. And going into that room, I was like, I can't talk about pornography. This is a Christian camp. They don't want to hear that. And sharing my testimony of pornography and struggling and just being extremely nervous and this is crazy. I don't know why I'm telling these guys. But then 6 out of 6 guys in that room went around and shared their struggles. Many growing up in Christian homes, many being pastors' sons. And I just remember going to bed that night going God, if this is so common, why is no one talking about it? Because I felt so alone, and I felt so alone for most of my, high school career. And I called my father and said, Dad, I want free of pornography. And he said, you said that last time. And I said, I know, but this time I mean it. This time, this is my heart longing to become a new creation. He said, we'll see what you do when you get home. And he hung up. But before we left Summit, we climbed a mountain. At the top of the mountain, one of the staff members gave a sermon and declaring the fact that the shell of the former you is waiting for you to crawl back into it when you get home.
You're gonna need concrete steps going home. The mold of the guy that you were when you left is going to be waiting for you. There's going to be all kinds of pressure to just collapse into normalcy. Go back to exactly how things were before.
And I remember sitting there I want nothing of the former shell. I want nothing of who I used to be. I ended up calling almost every guy in my contacts because I was passionate about what God had done and how he had moved and the ways I had seen him move. And I just shared my testimony of God's story through my life and what God had done for me, and the fact that there was freedom from pornography and there was hope. Some did a lot in my life. It gave me hope. It restored my view of humanity and of myself and of who I was, these split universes. And then he also gave me a passion to speak out against pornography. And so coming to Summit, I'm like, God, I feel like you've called me to ministry. I have no idea what that looks like, especially carrying this heavy burden on my back of pornography that I haven't been able to lift. How am I supposed to, be some kind of minister if I have this burden? How am I supposed to, live for you if I'm carrying this weight? And coming to Summit, God lifted the weight.